Time is precious, and so are our pets. So time with our pets is extra precious. That's why we started Dutch. Dutch provides 24/7 access to licensed vets with unlimited virtual visits and follow-ups for up to 5 pets. You can message a vet at any time and schedule a video visit the same day. Our vets can even prescribe medication for many ailments, and shipping is always free. With Dutch, you'll get more time with your pets and year-round peace of mind when it comes to their vet care. Go to Dutch.com to get vet care that is always there for just $92 a year.
Welcome back to another Wisco Fanatics Wednesday. Jake and I are back talking about Bucks basketball, and then Michael joined us in a little bit to talk about Badgers basketball. Today we have 5 basketball games to discuss, 3 for the Bucks, 2 for the Badgers. Also, tonight you will be able to hear us again on the 92.3 WOSQ, the Wisconsin Sports Show with Treg. Our second appearance on the radio, and a little bit less interview type questions, a little more go with the flow type atmosphere with that radio interview correspondence. Let's go with correspondence. So you can definitely check that out again tonight. Just got to search up 92.3 WOSQ, and you'll be able to listen live from their website. So check us out. We're on the radio now. It's a big step for us. So hopefully that leads to more interesting things for us in the future. But right now we're going to hit the intro, and we're going to start talking Bucks games.
Welcome to another episode of the Wisco Fanatics Show, where we cover the Packers, Bucks, Brewers, and Badgers basketball and football teams from an optimistic and realistic perspective.
Wisco Fanatics is brought to you by Cardboard Legacy, Wisconsin's most complete sports card shop. Buy, sell, grade, and consign all at their location in Oshkosh.
Alrighty, so let's start. We have 2 Pistons games to discuss this week with a 76ers matched up in the middle. So let's start with Bucks Pistons from last week, Wednesday. And Jake, give me your thoughts from last week's game.
Yeah, so the Bucks lost Giannis early. I believe it was like 2 or 3 minutes into the game.
3 minutes in, yeah.
Obviously, not great news after we got the news that, all the fake news, I will say, about Giannis requesting a trade, blah, blah, blah. They have backtracked at least twice in the last week.
Do you want to discuss that now, or do you want to discuss it at the end when we talk about what's next?
I say we discuss it later. I'm just bringing it up right now as like a general idea of, bringing people back to last week Wednesday is what I'm trying to do, really. So losing Giannis in a game when it felt more important than it actually was, honestly. I don't know if that sounds crazy to you, but that's how I felt about it. Bucks trailed 27-9 in the first quarter. Like I said, Giannis left with what we found out is a calf strain. That will keep him out 2 to 4 weeks. Doc Rivers says he expects him to miss 4 weeks, which is completely okay with me. Let's get the big fella healthy before rushing him back. The Bucks showed heart in this one, honestly. They got 16 points from Kevin Porter Jr. in the first half, and they only trailed by 3 after being down 27-9 in the first quarter. Only trailing by 3 at half, 52-49. That shows me something about this team. This team is much better than its record, in my opinion. Just a lot of moving parts, a lot of unnecessary drama that's also adding fuel to the fire for no reason at all. Thank you, ESPN, for being the piece of shit that you are. I'm just going to call it like it is. I don't really care. I'm not going to mince words about it because they're pissing me off. The Bucks took their first lead in the game in the third quarter, but they still ended up trailing after the third quarter, 85-78. A couple things that happened up to that point. One, Stewart took the first of his 3 L's that he had to take on this day. One, he got dunked on by Miles Turner in the second quarter after he picked on Miles Turner in the offseason for playing with Legos. Miles Turner said, "Hold this." He also got into a little scuffle, I'll call it, with Bobby Portis, which got the crowd into it. So that's something that I can appreciate about Bobby. I think Stewart should have gotten something for raising the fist, honestly, because he escalated the situation at that point.
Yeah.
Not that I'm trying to complain or anything like that, but if you're going to have the refs already, trying to de-escalate a situation, and then he raises a fist, he's clearly showing his intention in that moment. And the version of Stewart that you and I see is somebody who is dirty. So
there's a pattern of behavior with him, is why we say stuff like that.
Yes. So going into the fourth quarter, like I said, Bucks down 85-78. The Bucks won the fourth quarter 35-24. They shot 12 of 25 from the field. 13 of those 25 shots came from behind the three-point line, and they made 5 of them. Detroit shot 9 of 22. 10 of their 22 shots came from the three-point line. They made 4 of them. There was just a couple momentum plays that went the Bucks' way in this one. First of all, got to give a shout out to Jericho Sims. He had a career high in points with 15. He tied his career high in rebounds with 14. So 15 and 14 off the bench. Absolutely monstrous. The Bucks have been struggling with rebounding, so to get a guy with 14 rebounds off the bench when Giannis leaves the game early, that was absolutely massive. They do not win this game without it. Ryan Rollins was very efficient in this game, 9 of 16 for 22 points. Kevin Porter Jr. had a good game, scoring 26. He has been phenomenal since coming back. He also had 2 rebounds, 7 assists, and 2 steals. He's so good at stealing the basketball. His aggressiveness on ball defense, along with pushing the pace on offense, is just unmatched. They really, really could have used that earlier in the season. Now we got to talk about AJ Green. He went 3 for 6 from the three-point line in the fourth quarter. That includes where he hit back-to-back threes with what was it? Where did I write that down? Give me a second. He hit back-to-back threes to give the Bucks a lead, 97-94 with 7:14 to play. And then the third three-pointer he made was also massive. Cut the lead from 108 to 106 with 155 remaining. After that, the Bucks ended up getting a stop. And then they came down. They missed a shot. And the 14th rebound for Jericho Sims was actually an and one. And he made the free throw, which gave the Bucks the lead again with under a minute remaining. So Jericho Sims and AJ Green had their fingerprints all over this basketball game. A comeback victory versus a team that has the best record in the Eastern Conference. Just phenomenal stuff all the way around.
Yeah, I'm just gonna jump in just on the end of the game because another guy who had his fingerprints all over it was Ryan Rollins. There was a stretch where, like you said, there's the back-to-back AJ Green threes. The Bucks were up 97-95. One of those threes came in Cade's face with Cade Cunningham right on AJ Green, and the other one came off of an offensive rebound. And in between that, Ryan Rollins is working his ass off on defense. So there's a point where AJ misses a three, gets back and contests a layup on Tobias Harris, who misses the layup. That turns into a Bobby Portis to Kyle Kuzma lob and dunk. Pistons did take a 105-103 lead with 2.5 minutes to go, and AJ Green hit another three. Ryan Rollins got another steal, which led to that Jericho Sims and one that gave the Bucks a 109-108 lead that they did not give back. The thing with Jericho Sims, I think, is this is his best game of his career. You look at, obviously, like you said, the career high and the career high tying in rebounds. He dominated the restricted circle.
Yes.
He had one floater, and other than that, 6 of his 7 buckets came in the restricted circle. So he dominated the restricted circle offensively. That with Ryan Rollins also. He added 22 points, like you said. He was only 1 for 6 on threes, but he was 8 of 10 on twos. Added 4 rebounds, 8 assists, and 2 steals, and played his ass off defensively. He forced 5 turnovers.
Yes.
Then we get into Kevin Porter Jr., like you said. The thing you did leave out to go with his 26 points, 2 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals, he did have 7 turnovers. All of those were in the first half. Yeah. He was trying to do a little bit too much, trying to dribble the ball through a little bit too much traffic, and it wasn't working for him. He was turning the ball over a bit. Did not turn the ball over in the second half. So he made an adjustment, and that's a good thing. On the subject of Kevin Porter Jr., we are, again, in a situation where a guy gets swung down on, hit in the head, and there's no – it's just a common foul. Beatbox Worldwide asked if we're brothers. Not by relation.
From other mothers, yes.
I'm offended by you asked. But, I mean, Kevin Porter Jr. gets directly hit to the head. How does that become a common foul? And I don't think it was on purpose at all, but that's why you have 2 different classifications of flagrant fouls. Mm-hmm. That is type 1. A straight down swipe to the head, that should be a flagrant foul. But Jericho Sims gets a flagrant foul for a guy barely stepping on his foot. Now I get why that's called a flagrant foul, but how is a guy getting hit on the head, if not a flagrant, then classified as a common foul? As in, this is common, it happens often, and there's nothing noteworthy about it.
Right.
The flagrant foul that ended up being called on Jericho Sims resulted in a 7-point possession for the Pistons. So that was super annoying that's how that ended up. When we get to the what's next, I have some overarching free throw stats when it comes to the month of November, but there's definitely at the very minimum, the nice way to put it is inconsistency with the way that the Bucks are being handled versus the way that their opponents are.
Yeah.
Other than that, like you said, get off the tracks when the Turner train is coming through. Isaiah Stewart got dunked on. He's a punk. Get the fuck out of here with the way that he acts.
Right.
I get they're trying to make him a thing like, ooh, Beef Stew, he's shooting 40% in threes this year. He's still an asshole.
Yeah.
Other than that, like you brought up, Bobby Portis, he had a team high 18, so I think there's something to your point of getting the crowd involved. The team felt the energy on that. Even though he didn't shoot well, he had 9 rebounds finally and 5 assists. As a team, looking at Kevin Porter Jr. and Ryan Rollins, those two had 6 deflections each. That's really good. That means they're playing in the passing lanes, getting their hand on a lot of passes and deflecting. Bucks as a team, looking at team stats, only 4 second-half turnovers. That is great. Pistons did turn that into 8 points off turnovers. They only had 12 total. The Bucks had 15 points off turnovers offensively. Outscored Detroit, like you said, 35-24 in the fourth quarter. And then the last thing that I wanted to end on with this game, and you can tell this plays into the next Piston game, the Bucks absolutely clamped Cade Cunningham. Cade Cunningham was 5 for 15 from the field and 1 for 6 from the three-point line. He was 1 for 3 versus both Miles Turner and Ryan Rollins. So that, to me, was a signal like, hey, the guys that they brought in, and obviously giving Ryan Rollins more playing time, like this is a 1 through 5 defending team, and that's why Miles Turner is here.
Yeah, I think everybody that was ready to crown Cade Cunningham a superstar after last year, much improved year, need to slow down a little bit. His inconsistency with shooting and scoring definitely put him more in that star range. He does affect the game in a lot of different ways. He's a big body guy. He can pass. He's absolutely
an all-star, but he's not a guy who's going to be in an MVP conversation anytime soon.
Yeah. He's not a superstar, and I've seen people kind of throw that out a couple times, and I'm like,
he's like a Donovan Mitchell kind of guy.
What?
Like they're absolutely stars, but I don't think that they're guys you can ride to a ring.
I agree with that.
Okay. All right. Let's move it to Friday night against the 76ers. You want to start with this one?
You can go. Doesn't matter to me.
More inconsistent officiating. Bucks lost AJ Green in the first half after an illegal screen, which it sucks. Bucks couldn't get a bounce or a call in the first quarter, while Philadelphia is hitting literally every fucking three-pointer that they shoot. 76ers used their hot three-point shooting to run out to a lead and just kind of kept it between 13 and 20 for the rest of the game. The 76ers had 6 players in double figures, 5 players with multiple three-point makes. And as a team, they're not a great three-point shooting team. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, you play to a team's weakness, you give them what they don't do well. Once in a while, they're going to exceed at something. Like, they're going to have a good game even at their weakness, which sucks that it happens against the Bucks, of course, when they're playing without Giannis. It's like, okay, so you have the right scouting report, and then they just make you throw it out the window. Also, doesn't help when you have 10 turnovers in the first half, leading to 17 points off turnovers. The Bucks scored 7 points off turnovers, and that's a 10-0 deficit right there just from points off turnovers. Did only have 6 in the second half and only allow 4 points off turnovers in the second half. So, again, there's an improvement there, but I think that's a little bit also Philly potentially playing a little bit more conservatively. Bucks got 7 offensive rebounds, only turned that into 5 second chance points. I think there's an opportunity to be more efficient there. I will say I like Miles Turner and Kevin Porter Jr. being more aggressive, especially Miles Turner. They combined for 21 of the Bucks' 27 free throws, and the 2 of them made 17. So that's good stuff there. Kyle Kuzma bounced back after a quiet offensive night against the Pistons on Wednesday and against I forgot who they played on Monday night, but the Monday night game as well.
The Wizards?
Wizards, yep, that's what it was. See, look how quickly I erased that game from my brain. And then there's something I want to say. I'll hold it until after the Pistons game with the amount of crunch time that Bobby Portis and Jericho Sims are playing, and Miles Turner isn't. But I'm gonna hold on to that until we get through the Bucks and Pistons game. So, what did you take away from Friday against the 76ers?
I know what he's going to say, by the way. But getting into this Bucks 76ers game, yes, everything you said was true, but the Bucks getting off to slow starts is really killing them. I feel like the first quarters, which something that used to be a strength, I went over the numbers a couple weeks ago, and second quarters, which weren't a strength, and we looked at the free throw disparity in those quarters, it was insane. But getting off to slow starts is killing them lately. You're already without Giannis, and then you lose AJ Green early in this game, so you don't have your all-world player and you don't have your flamethrower, which obviously was a big part of why you won the game versus Detroit a couple of games prior, or a couple of days earlier. So they lost the first quarter 33-20, lost the second quarter 36-29. That equals the 69-49 at half. You're not shooting efficiently. They're making everything. It was crazy to me. But the Bucks cut the lead to 9. They got it to 103-94 with 4:16 left after Bobby Portis, who had a really efficient day, by the way, hit a corner three. He scored 22 points, had 4 rebounds, 0 assists. He was 9 of 16 from the field. He was 4 of 9 from 3. Immediately after hitting that corner three, Rollins got a steal, threw it back to Bobby. Bobby missed the layup, and they gave it to their, I would say another star on their team. They were without Embiid because they were on the second half of back-to-back, so that guy's never playing a back-to-back ever again in his life. Tyrese Maxey, who was held to a season-low 12 points, but the 2 that he made after that missed layup were really the difference. It killed all momentum that Milwaukee had, in my opinion. The Bucks just ended up losing. They were scratching and clawing. They were down. It was too little, too late kind of situation for me in this one. The 76ers bench scored 61 points in this game. That is uncalled for. You cannot let that happen. Now, I understand losing AJ Green and Giannis. You're down 2 starters. So your bench gets a little thinner that way anyways. But that just means guys like Gary Trent Jr. have to step up. He's a guy that we were I'm just going to let the cat out of the bag because I wrote it on my notebook. We were going to do a section of stock up, stock down. And it hurts me to say, but a guy, Gary Trent Jr., who, I clamored for going into before last season, he's a stock down for me right now. He's a guy that I expected a lot more from, a lot more consistency from outside. Now, he's not a very big guy, but he's still able to defend and stay in front of people. He has done neither of those 2 things for me so far this year. He's had moments, yes, but on a consistent basis, no. Bobby Portis is another guy that would be stock down. We need his rebounding. He doesn't need to just be shooting jumpers and, talking to the crowd. That's only part of your gig, Bobby. Right. I need you to rebound the goddamn basketball, dude. So those would be the 2 guys if we were doing a stock up, stock down. Those would be the 2 biggest stock downs for me. And one of the biggest stock ups would be Jericho Sims. I think that we should look for more action for him in the pick and roll with Kevin Porter Jr. because Kevin Porter is so good at getting downhill and finishing. He puts so much stress on the defense by getting downhill. He can also just lob it up to Sims. And then you have to think about that on the back end, on the soft side of the defense. Jericho Sims can absolutely jump out of the gym. So you put it near the white square, he's probably coming down with it.
I actually have very similar thoughts in my notes from Saturday's game, to be honest with you.
Oh, do you? Sorry, I didn't mean to jump ahead. I just have it written on the screen.
You're good.
So
for all the times that you're in my notebook, you didn't have that in there in yours for the day before.
So it's just, I don't know. There's just some things that they can clean up, and there's opportunities that they can do to get better. Yes, we've talked about the refs because they absolutely need to be talked about. But there's also things that I think the Bucks can do a little bit better. And there's a couple players, veteran guys. These guys have been around the league. Gary Trent is a guy that's averaged 15 to 18 points for multiple years. He's a guy that needs to score on this team, especially when guys go out. He needs to have the mindset of, okay, it's time for me to step up. Immediately when when AJ Green gets hurt in that game, I'm like, well, I guess Gary's going to play a lot today, and he didn't fill that role well enough, in my opinion. So it is what it is.
I'm going to say this just on the subject of scoring when guys are missing.
Mm-hmm.
It really makes you think, and obviously hindsight is always 20/20, but just how high level of a guy like Chris Middleton was for a long time.
Man.
That guy was giving you 25 points a night for like 7 years. And then even when he was coming back from his injury and playing like 25 minutes a night, he was still giving you like 16, 6, and 6 or 7 assists.
Yep.
That guy was really taken for granted.
He really was.
Andrew said this is the nastiest time to shine. Hey, we talked about this going all the way back to the Bucks Nets semifinals series in the Eastern Conference in 2021, the year the Bucks won the title. We were like, if there's 12 seconds left in a quarter, fucking put him out there to piss somebody off. Like if he picks up 2 fouls, who gives a shit?
Yeah, he's gonna play hard.
Let him go out there and be an instigator, not in the way that like Draymond Green or Dylan Brooks would instigate, but like put him out there to be a pest. He's a guy who can consolidate 100% of his energy into 5% of a basketball game.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't even disagree. Like you might have been joking a little bit, Andrew, but I don't even disagree. Like I'm not saying he needs to play 20 minutes a night or anything like that by no means, but like, I mean, I have no problem saying that we can't find 5 minutes for Thanasis to go out there and give some energy.
Especially with how our roster's shaping up right now.
Exactly.
If he's a guy that's going to play hard on defense, yes.
Yep. Okay. And just a guy who's going to go and chase down the ball.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go Bucks Pistons Saturday night. So I'm just going to jump in on the subject of the way that the big men are playing. Miles Turner was really aggressive early. He started 3 for 3 from the 3-point line, had a little spin and got an and one off Cade Cunningham. He started 4 for 4 from the field. Finished 4 for 8. He only played 25 minutes. Jericho Sims played 30. And to your point, Doc was trying to exploit Sims as a rim runner, but just didn't get the opportunities. So I agree with you that there's an opportunity to give him those opportunities. Now, tinfoil hat time. Time to put your tinfoil hats on. Now that you got your tinfoil hat on, my thought with Miles Turner not playing very much in the fourth quarter, he's averaging about 3 minutes in the fourth quarter over the last handful of games. Bobby Portis is playing a lot of fourth quarter minutes alongside Jericho Sims. I don't think this has a lot to do with Jericho Sims, but I think it has a lot to do with Bobby Portis and trying to increase his trade value.
Yeah.
Bobby Portis is eligible to be traded on Monday, December 15th. I think the Bucks are going to dangle him much further in the water than they're going to dangle a guy like Kyle Kuzma.
Yes.
Kyle Kuzma has proved himself much more useful to this Bucks team than Bobby Portis has. The Bucks also are in a position where they don't have to worry about salary as much anymore. The Bucks are under the luxury tax right now. That's part of what the Chris Middleton trade did for the Bucks, also giving them access to the 2031 first-round pick. So if we roll around to Monday and John Horst starts making phone calls with Bobby Portis and is like, hey, we'll give you Bobby Portis and a first-round pick for Herb Jones or, something involving DeMar DeRozan or Zach LaVine. Obviously, there would need to be a little bit, more stuff going on there. And starts dangling these kind of trades out there, Monday's the day. So nothing can happen before then with a bunch of the guys on the roster, but expect John Horst's cell phone to start getting real busy over the weekend because I'm sure that stuff's happening before Monday. They just can't stay, offering trades and making trades. But Monday is when these guys become eligible. Bobby is eligible. Gary Trent Jr. is eligible. Miles Turner is eligible. Jericho Sims is eligible. Torian Prince is eligible. Bunch of the guys on the roster, Cole Anthony, Amir Coffey, like those guys are all eligible to be traded starting Monday. So that's when John Horst is going to be getting on the phones and start looking for ways to retool the roster. Okay, so that's my tinfoil hat time. Kyle Kuzma playing aggressive on Saturday with the ball in his hands too. He was getting downhill, getting steals on the weak side of the Bucks' zone defense. Got a super soft fucking technical for throwing a ball to a ref's feet after getting called for a charge, but not getting any calls while he's driving to the basket. Man, I called him great value Giannis for the last month, and man, he's getting the treatment.
It really is.
He's playing similarly, like he's playmaking out of it. He's driving to the basket. I mean, he shoots a little bit more than Giannis does from farther away, but I mean, he's trying to get to the rim. He's trying to drive and kick. He's playing like great value Giannis, like I said. And now that he's driving to the basket, he's not getting any foul calls either, but he's not flopping around. He's playing like Giannis. He's just obviously not as good because nobody is.
That's true.
But I just want to continue to pat myself on the back for something I said over a month ago. That it's to the point of they have Kyle Kuzma playing this backup role to Giannis so that all the other 4 guys on the floor, whether it's a mix of starters or bench guys or both, that nobody has to change their play style, whether Giannis is in or whether Kuzma is in. I feel pretty smart for bringing that up a while ago, and I feel like the evidence on the court is backing it up.
Yes.
Down to not getting foul calls. Bucks did get a couple foul calls in this game, but still getting called for some really soft shit when they're playing defense, and then the Pistons getting away with some violations. I think I counted 3 travels that the Pistons got away with in the first half alone.
Yeah.
The Bucks do, I will say, need to make their open shots, whether it be open threes or free throws. You got to knock your stuff down. Bobby Portis gets some free throws after getting into it with Isaiah Stewart again, and he missed them both. Like, you got to be having that stuff.
Yeah.
Kevin Porter Jr., he is a 3-level scorer. He had 19 points, 7 for 8 from the field, 3 for 4 from 3, 2 of 3 from the free throw line, 4 assists, 4 steals, and 1 block in the first half. He finished with his new Bucks high, 32 points, had the 4 rebounds, had 6 assists, 4 steals, and a block. Yeah. Only 1 turnover. So I brought up the first Pistons matchup. He had a lot of turnovers in the first half. The next 3 halves after that, 1 turnover. That's great progress from Kevin Porter Jr. That's great adjusting. So good for him.
Yes, sir.
Finished 11 of 16 from the field and 7 of 9 from the 3-point line. Hell yeah. Ryan Rollins had 10, 6, and 6. 1 for 7 from the 3-point line is a little rough, but there's an opportunity for him to bounce back. I'm not worried that he's trash or anything like that. Like, he's still going to be a top 3 most improved player candidate. I think, like you said with Cade Cunningham, I think there's an opportunity for Ryan Rollins to develop some consistency, but he's 23 years old. Yes. So he's got plenty of time to grow. The Bucks as a team, first half, 5 turnovers, had 8 points off turnovers for the Pistons. Pistons had 13 turnovers and had 20 points off turnovers for the Bucks. So again, there was an opportunity here for the Bucks. And I think through 3 quarters, they played the Pistons really tough. The Pistons just kind of pulled away from them in the end.
Yeah. So let me get into this. I wanted to talk about Kuzma as well. I was texting you during the game, and in the first quarter, he was going crazy. He was hunting Duncan Robinson.
Yeah.
I texted that to you like word for word. I was like, dude, he is hunting Robinson. There was a moment where Kuzma was on fire and he was calling for his screen. I don't remember who was coming, but he was just like, no. I want that motherfucker right there. And Duncan Robinson comes up and he had to be shitting his pants because Kuzma went right to the rim and just got a layup. And I was like, oh yeah, you're a problem right now, Duncan. You're a problem for the Pistons. But Kuzma, very good. I like when he is aggressive like that. He just shows his value, honestly. He's been playing up to his contract and above and some games, in my opinion. There was, the fourth quarter going way back to the Kings game that the Bucks ended up losing. They would have lost by 20 if it wasn't for Kuzma in that fourth quarter because he was absolutely
would have won by 10 if it wasn't for officiating.
Yeah, freaking 8, right? You already touched on Miles Turner, so I don't have to say that. Kevin Porter Jr., great game. Over his last 3 games this last week, he's averaging 26, 4.3, 7.3 assists, shooting 51% from the field, 55% from 3, 11 for 20 overall. That's very good. He's at 8 steals and a block. So Kevin Porter Jr. absolutely coming into his own. Hopefully you can carry the Bucks to a few more wins over the next couple of weeks while Giannis is resting that leg. On top of that, I wanted to talk about Bobby Portis. Bobby. I understand the role that you're trying to play, buddy, but we need more efficiency out of you. 2 for 11, brother. 2 for 11. That can't happen. And he goes through these spurts where he plays within the offense and the offense looks good and it's running smooth. And then all of a sudden he'll go back to what he was doing, and he'll just take the ball. He'll hold it for a second. He'll be like, you know what? I think I'm going to shoot this contested mid-range. I'm like,
Dude, there was a possession where he got a defensive rebound, and I don't remember who the point guard was, if it was Rollins or Kevin Porter Jr., but he dribbled the ball down and he shot it. The ball got passed 0 times.
Yep, he dribbled it down to the left side of the court and he shot a jumper. I remember that, and I was like, "Yeah, that's not it. That's not going to do good things for us." Wanted to mention
gave 4
also,
out of the 5 defenders a whole rest of possession.
Dude, seriously. Andre Jackson Jr. got some run in this game. 4 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 for 1 from the field. I just really wish that Andre Jackson Jr. could be a one-man fast break. He has the athleticism, and he's kind of there on the ball handling, but you don't need a lot of ball handling to be able to dribble down the court and go to the rim.
Yeah.
But man, if every once in a while, because he's so good on defense, if he could just go attack the ball off the rim and just go down and score a layup, he would be so valuable to this team.
You know what I feel like he needs in that situation? I feel like he needs to maybe work on his footwork a little bit.
I can see that. I can definitely see that. Develop maybe a Euro step so he can
something like that, or just kind of we marvel at the way that Giannis strides to the basket.
Yeah.
And how he always looks like he's just, he's 5 steps ahead of exactly how he's going to take his steps. Like Ajax kind of seems like he's a little bit of a baby deer.
Yeah. Yeah. He's a little timid out there for a guy who is that, physically imposing at times. He could just jump so high. He can be so fast. He has good strength. Just go out there and play, man. Stop thinking about it so much. And that may be, something that the Bucks have done to him, killing his confidence a little bit. Because when he came into the league, coming off a championship, I was like, oh, this is interesting. This guy could develop into a demon. He doesn't have to be a 20-point-per-game guy, but really just turn into what the Pistons use Thompson for is really what I'm looking for.
We liked that when he was coming out of college, out of the draft, the way that he was running the fast break, but the way that he was passing. His passing was...
Hey, this is Steve Gorman, radio host, sports commentator, former drummer for the Black Crowes. The winter holidays are here, a time for festive celebrations, family gatherings, and ringing in the new year. Whether it's a holiday party, a night out with friends, or just relaxing by the fire with a few drinks, it's a season full of good cheer. But here's something else to add to your holiday plans, a safe and sober ride home. Just like in sports and music, always have a game plan. And the most important part of any plan is sticking to it. If you plan to drink, take that plan a step further. Call a rideshare, a taxi, a sober friend, or have a designated driver lined up before the night begins. Drinking and driving is a decision that can change your life and the lives of others forever. A DUI, a crash, an injury. The consequences are real and lasting. So please, for your sake and for everyone else on the road, make the smart choice. Get a sober ride home. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
Time is precious, and so are our pets. So time with our pets is extra precious. That's why we started Dutch. Dutch provides 24/7 access to licensed vets with unlimited virtual visits and follow-ups for up to 5 pets. You can message a vet at any time and schedule a video visit the same day. Our vets can even prescribe medication for many ailments, and shipping is always free. With Dutch, you'll get more time with your pets and year-round peace of mind when it comes to their vet care. Go to Dutch.com to get vet care that is always there for just $92 a year.
Is a big asset. Dustin said Ajax needs to get a little wider shoulders, even as he did as UConn. When you play Marquette, it's sometimes afraid, which is fair. I mean, it's fair. Yeah. I feel like it's not even that it's necessarily like he's scared of the contact, anything like that, but I think it's a little bit of a fear of making mistakes to a point.
Yep.
That's just exactly not wanting to screw up.
It's like when you have a quarterback, right? And they say when you have 2 quarterbacks, you have no quarterback. So when one quarterback comes in, he's afraid to take a chance on a throw because if he does a turnover, is he gonna go in for that next possession that he's supposed to be scheduled for? It's almost that feeling with Ajax, but I'm going to be interested to see how much he plays over the next couple of weeks. Hopefully he gets some run. I think that we need him on defense because he can help with the rebounding as well.
We're in kind of a make or break season with him.
They got out rebounded 53-36 in this game. That is bad.
That's bad.
That is so bad. You cannot do that.
Yeah.
Your rebound number should not be that close to your assist number. They had 24 assists. Should not be that close. So rebounding definitely needs to get better. And this team is so athletic. I understand that they scored 26 fast break points, but that's definitely somewhere where Ajax can help as well.
Yeah, Dustin agrees. He doesn't want to lose his spot in the rotation. But I mean, let's say he continues to play the kind of like, I don't want to screw up type basketball. What are you saving yourself? 12 minutes versus take a risk, bet on yourself. Maybe earn yourself 20.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah. Okay. Looking at what's next for the Bucks, they play tomorrow against Boston. And then they play Sunday at Brooklyn. So only 2 games between now and next Wednesday. The Bucks have been talking about it, that they have some opportunity here to kind of rest, get the State of the Union a little bit. Dustin said, I think Giannis and Miles need to have a pep talk with him. I mean, absolutely. We talked about, I don't even remember who it was, but they put him in between Wesley Matthews and Drew Holiday in the locker room back in the day.
Who was that? I remember that. I don't remember who it was, though. But that was a good idea. I remember that.
Yeah.
God, it was a guard.
It's like, putting them in between high character guys. I mean, it's to a similar point, like Dustin's saying, just with Giannis and Miles Turner.
Yep.
Looking at the way, and if you want to hear, we definitely gave more thoughts about this with our radio spot tonight. The way that NBA media is handling the Giannis situation, looking at how Chris Haynes is talking about Giannis and the way that Mark Stein are talking about Giannis, where Chris Haynes is saying that Giannis sees a wall, he wants to run through it, he wants to make it work. Mark Stein saying that the Milwaukee Bucks are not even listening to offers. And then you have everything else that's going on with the other 2 guys, being Shams and Windhorst. Not a coincidence that they have the same employer.
No.
So my big overarching thing, and I did elaborate a little bit more on this with Trage, but my big overarching thing with this is this. We are approaching a point where ESPN is reporting rumors as news, and it's at the point where they don't even have to have him traded to a large market. They can just keep talking about the possibility of him getting traded to the large market and get just as many clicks. And that's what it's about. Wasn't that Sam Merrill? It could have been Sam Merrill.
I don't think it was Sam Merrill.
Shams is absolutely worded. Yeah, aptly named. And it's not a secret why people call Brian Windhorst windbag. Like he made comments that Giannis asked for a trade to the Knicks in the offseason, and 2 days walked it back and be like, well, he didn't actually ask for the trade, but
he never went and said, I want to be traded.
Yeah.
And now Knicks fans are going crazy because apparently Giannis bought some apartment in New York. It's like,
yeah.
Okay.
And people are like, even New Yorkers are saying like it's a full apartment complex and he's buying it as an investment.
Do you guys not know the business side of Giannis? Welcome to the world of business where professional athletes like to make money outside their sport. That's crazy.
Right? That's how you keep money. Dustin said I'll reach out to Wesley and ask him as we keep in touch. Hey, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. Also ask him if he wants to join a podcast.
Yeah, seriously. I would love to talk to Wesley.
And tell him that I like him when he's doing sideline reporting.
Yeah, he's fantastic on call.
I like him.
I love Wesley Matthews on there. He's very good. Very good pace, I think.
And then they mix in Tom Crean. It's like, ooh, all right, I like it.
They're cooking a little bit.
I like Tom Crean as an addition to the reporting too.
I do as well.
Okay, last thing I have before we move on to the Badgers, this is really not a fun thing that I did the research on. The Milwaukee Bucks November free throw report, let's call it. This is if the Milwaukee Bucks and their opponents had shot a league average amount of free throws, the league average being about 25 free throws per game. The Bucks in November currently, as a team, shoot 71.4% on free throws. Bucks opponents currently shoot about 79% on free throws. So, looking at a league amount of free throws being at 25 versus what the actual was for the Bucks and what the actual was for their opponents, and then looking at what that would do to the results of the game. So, the Bucks went 5-11 in the month of November. If the Bucks and their opponents both shot a league average amount of free throws, They would have had 5 losses that became wins, being the Kings, the Pacers, the 76ers, the Blazers, and the Heat games. They would have had a second game with the Hornets going to overtime, and then they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games that the results wouldn't have changed. So, league average amount of free throws, the Bucks go from 5-11 in November to 9-6-1. They have 5 losses, become wins. They would have been 10-5-1. And that's you're talking about doubling your win total just by having a league average amount of free throws between them and their opponents. Now, the entire month, the 16 games, the Bucks shot league average amount of free throws twice, and they shot more than 25 free throws one time, and it was that Kings game, the first game of November. Bucks opponents shot over the league average 10 of the 16 games that they played. 10 out of 16, their opponents shot over the league average. That's well over 50%. Then, this is so crazy. Looking at the month as a whole, how many free throws you would have had to add to the Bucks total to get them to a league average, and how many you would have had to take away from their opponents to get them to a league average. You'd have to add 65 free throws to the Milwaukee Bucks in 16 games to get them to the league average. And you'd have to subtract 74 free throws from their opponents to get that to the league average. That is a plus-minus differential of 139 free throws in 16 games.
That's uncalled for.
140 free throw differential in 16 games.
Dude.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's like 8.8 a game.
Yeah, it's
a little shy of 9. 142 free throws or 144 free throws would have been 9 free throws a game of differential.
No.
That is insane.
No.
So that's where we're leaving off. 2 Bucks games between now and next week. So it'll be a little bit of a shorter Bucks segment next week because we're only going to have the 2 games to discuss. But we will have 3 Badger basketball games, and that's where we're going to switch to now. So we're going to bring in Mike, and we're going to switch to Badgers basketball, starting with the opening of the Big Ten schedule, and their first Big Ten matchup being against Northwestern. So, Mike, I'll let you go first. Jump in on the guards from the Badgers win over Northwestern.
Yeah, for sure. It's great to get off to a nice 1-0 start in Big Ten play. I mean, just to start overall, the Badgers played a damn near perfect first half. Led with our guy, Nick Boyd. 29 minutes, dropped 20 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, 0 turnovers once again. So bravo to our starting point guard on that. Jack Janicki was a little bit quiet. He had 14 minutes, 5 points, 1 rebound, 1 block. I am going to go back to Nick Boyd, too, because I will also point out first, when I say the Badgers played damn near perfect first half, I mean, we had 15 assists on our first 17 field goals, which is an insane stat and something I hope that we can continue to put together this season. We had 7 turnovers for the game, but all 7 came in the second half, which you don't like to see. We definitely let off the gas a little bit, but we led by 23 at the break, right, 55-32. But going back to Nick Boyd for one quick final point, he scored or assisted in all 12 points to start for the Badgers in the second half, which is the first 5 minutes. So when we talk about the whole solid 1-2 punch to what we think Nick Boyd and John Blackwell can be, I think this is just one of those instances where, hey, maybe one guy's getting in a a little bit of a slump. Well, Nick Boyd could definitely be called upon to fill the void at least for a few minutes at least, and not even longer stretches in the game, which I fully expect will happen at some point this season. But no, great way to get off to a 1-0 start, though. Played a great first half. Like I said, let off the brakes a little bit in the second, but just going back to the whole 15 assists on first 17 field goals of the game, this just shows you, I think, what this team is capable of if we can just put it all together for a complete game. And I think we're showing signs of that slowly but surely. Just got to put it all together for a full game now. But no, off to a great start in Big Ten play.
I agree. Looking like just from the tip, the ball was moving around much faster. The defense was swarming too. They strung up a bunch of stops together defensively. Had turnovers, had one and dones. They went on a 33-9 run at one point and held Northwestern without a field goal for over 5 minutes. Like Mike said, the no turnovers in the first half. They forced 7 Northwestern turnovers that they turned into 17 points off turnovers in just the first half. Looking in the second half, like Mike said, they did go a little bit cold in the middle of it. They had some cushion that they were kind of playing with. There was a 7-0 run with 3 minutes left by Northwestern. That made the game a 13-point game, so it made it look a little bit closer. Like you see, we're talking about them being up by 20 points, and they only ended up winning by 12. The Badgers only scored 4 points in the last 5.5 minutes of the game, so I think, like you said, they kind of coasted to the win. That said, John Blackwell did hit back-to-back three-pointers in the first half to give him 1,000 career points. He is the 4th fastest Badger since 2000 to reach that mark. He had 23 points at halftime, only scored 3 points in the second half, kind of part of that coasting a little bit. Had 26 total points, had 11 rebounds, that ties his career high, had an assist and 3 steals. He was 5 for 10 from the three-point line, so a great game from John Blackwell. Andrew Rohde, he assisted back-to-back threes to John Blackwell, had several really good feeds for baskets, had 7 assists in the first half. He finished with only 3 points. All of them came at the free throw line, had 2 rebounds, but finished with 9 assists and only 2 turnovers. Love that. Andrew Rohde making an impact in the passing game, which was not something that I had on my bingo card for him in 2025.
He might be the best pure playmaker on this team, in my opinion.
Made some really, really, really nice passes in this game.
Yeah.
So that's awesome to see him show another part of a skill set that wasn't like one of the, glaring things that when he transferred, that it's like, okay, we're bringing in a shooter and an on-ball defender. And then he's like, okay, I can also drop 9 assists with only 2 turnovers also. So I love seeing him add some other things to his skill set. Braden Carrington only played 12 minutes. He missed the 3 shots that he took, had a rebound and assist. So like Mike was saying with Janicki, kind of a quiet game for Braden Carrington. Other than that, Jake has the bigs.
Yeah, so just to add real quick to your talking about Andrew Rohde, you mentioned Blackwell reaching 1,000 career points. Rohde also reached 1,000 career points in this game. He got to 1,001. Wisconsin getting off to a 1-0 start to their Big Ten season. They have won 22 Big Ten openers since the year 1999-2000. Greg Gard now moves to 8-2 in his Big Ten openers. So the Badgers like to get off to fast starts, so that helps, and that also proves why they are always competing for the Big Ten title, because they win their opener and they get off to a fast start. That's important to lay that groundwork, right? You mentioned that we only scored 4 points and still won over the last couple minutes of the game. That means they were up by 20 points because the Northwestern shaved off 8 of those points. So the Badgers absolutely dominated. Defense looked a lot better. And part of the reason for that is Bielowski's getting his first start of the year.
Yeah, good call.
He was very good in this game. He still played less than Austin Rapp. I think part of that is because of the big lead. But he played 20 minutes, had 6 points, 3 rebounds. 2 of his 3 rebounds were on the offensive end, so that's a good thing. Nolan Winter, he had 12 points, 4 rebounds. And an assist. He was 4 for 5 from the field. He only shot 1 3-pointer. I'd like to see us utilize that a little bit more, but he's kind of been the low post presence. I don't think we really we shouldn't get into the half court as much because we have a guy like Nick Boyd that can push the pace. Blackwell likes to push the pace. So really low post shooters.
To your point, like a bunch of guys that can shoot, even the big men can shoot.
Yeah.
So even if you want to have them kind of fan out in the fast break to give Nick Boyd like the opportunity to attack the basket, and have those guys posted up on the 3-point line. And then when you get into the half court, if necessary, then they can go post up. Or you have Nick Boyd drive to the basket and you just have those guys follow him in case there's a rebound and then just get some free tip slams.
Yeah, that. And I was going to say, if you spread it out, you can get back to something that, Brett, I was going to say Brett Neal, but Jesus. My fault. Bo Ryan used to talk about a bunch, and we used to have back cuts. Back cuts used to be a big thing in this offense. So I would like to, utilize that a little bit more because I think those opportunities are still open. Austin Rapp, to his point, he was pretty efficient. To his credit, I should say, not to his point. To his credit, he scored 13 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 5 of 8 from the field, 3 of 6 from 3. He was good in that 6-man role, or first big man off the bench. That might be where he stays. It's been pretty good the last 2 games. The defense has been better. The offense is moving a little bit more. It's not just like going to Rapp just because he's a stretch big. Like, they're not forcing it over there. Also, Bielowski's 1 for 1 from 3-point line, so he can stretch the floor too. Garlock just kind of seems like the odd man out. Played 9 minutes. Yeah, had a rebound, had an assist. Didn't take a shot. So you mentioned Blackwell had 11 rebounds. Bielowskis, Winter, Rapp, and Garlock combined had 11 rebounds. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got to throw the disclaimer out there. We've been very, very vocal on this with the Bucks. If it means that those guys are boxing out and Boyd and Blackwell can grab rebounds and go, then I don't care how many rebounds that the big men have. If you only care about that and you didn't watch the game and you're only looking at the box score and you're complaining about big men not having rebounds, please watch the games and understand basketball.
Right. I'm only saying that because of what's coming the next game. Just saying.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's just jump in. Let's jump into the next game. Directly transition. Let's go bigs to guards against Marquette.
Yeah. So I mentioned that Rapp played more than Bielowskis in the Northwestern game. Well, that was not the case in this one. Bielowskis played 27 minutes. Winter played 30. Rapp got 15 minutes, and Garlick only played 5. He didn't record a single stat, not even a shot attempt. So, like I said, I think he is the odd man out. And when you think about Winter and you think about how this rotation's kind of shaping up, Greg Gard wants to solidify that defense going into Big Ten season. We have that other little tournament coming up. Who do we play on like the 22nd or whatever? I forget who it is. Do you know, Mike, off the top of your head?
You talking about when we play Nova next week?
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Next Friday.
Next Friday. Yeah, we have another little tournament coming up, so another test for us. But the 2 starting big men, Bielowskis and Winter, both had double-doubles. 13, and 1 for Nolan Winter, his 5th double-double of the season already. So he's putting together a quietly very good season, in my opinion. Bielowskis, 11, 10, and 1. He didn't miss a shot. 3 for 3 from the 3-point line. He was a big reason why the Badgers got off to a really, really fast and big start. His first double-double of the season. So rebounding is better. The physicality on defense is a lot better, in my opinion. The ball is moving a little bit more. I like all that stuff. Austin Rapp, 7 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 of 5 from the field, 0 of 2 from 3. But I don't feel like he forced anything. I didn't feel like he forced it, in my opinion. And I'm just going to touch on this. I know this is your guys' people here, but I got a couple last thoughts, and I'll pass it over. Wisconsin moves to 6-0 at home. They're 7-2 overall, so 6 of their 7 wins have come at home. Talking about Rapp, Janicki, and Carrington as you're building that roster, building that rotation. Those are the 3 guys that are going to come off the bench. You have your starting 5 now, in my opinion. I like Bielowskis being added in there. It's kind of leveled everything out. And you can just have Austin Rapp just be like a Bobby Portis type. You're going to come in, you're going to look to score, you're going to stretch the floor. That's it. That's all.
The good versions of Bobby Portis.
Compete, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
The defense was so much better the last 2 games. You mentioned the Northwestern going on a run. We still only gave up 73 with them going on that run, which is elite in my opinion. And then Wisconsin was locked in all game versus Marquette on the defensive end. You only give up 76 points, 73 and 76 in today's college basketball is shit, really, in my opinion. So you didn't go under double digit. You were leading by double digits at half. The lead never got under double digits in the second half, and you ended up winning this game by 20 points. So the defense has absolutely been talked about at practice. I can promise you that.
I think to your point, you talk about the defense being better over the last 2 games. I think Bielowskis being inserted into the starting lineup has something to do with that. Yeah, I think 100%. He's a better defender than Austin Rapp, and I think him being inserted in the starting lineup has a big effect that way.
Yes, sir.
This game was kind of a weird start. It was a back and forth, and a lot of missed shots coming from it. The game was only 10-5 after the first 8 minutes of the game. It was crazy, kind of a weird, slow start, even though there was a lot of fast-moving pieces. The Badgers rectified that by going on a 24-11 run over the next 7 minutes and change. That's where Bielowskis was hitting some of the threes. John Blackwell, I think he was the guy that got the Badgers out of their slow offensive start by attacking the basket and getting to the free throw line and then knocking down some threes. He had another 20-point half. He was 5 of 11 from the field and 4 of 8 from the 3-point line in the first half. Finished with 30 points. He made 6 out of his 12 threes. So over his 2 games, he was 11 for 22 at the three-point line. 50% is absurd from the three-point line. And he made 8 out of his 10 free throws, which is a good bounce back. He had kind of a rough game last week where he was 7 for 12, but a good bounce back. He also added 3 assists and was rewarded for doing so with the Big Ten Player of the Week award. So good for John Blackwell. He had 2 really great games this week. Just going to insert one quick asterisk on there. He had 1 really bad foul right before halftime of this game. Don't do that. Thankfully, he had a different foul that ended up getting charged to somebody else. Otherwise, he would have had 3 fouls coming out of halftime. 1 of the 3 would have came in the last 2 seconds of the half. So don't do that. Mm-hmm. Let the guy jack up a shot. It's not a 1 shot attempt versus 1 foul. You know, there's going to be 65 shot attempts in a game. There's going to be only 5 fouls that you get before you're taken out. Yep. So be careful. Going to Andrew Rohde, he hit a 3 from the Culver's logo after Marquette called a timeout to try to slow down the Badgers' offensive momentum. That was awesome. Love seeing that from Rohde. He had a 10-point first half. He was 2 for 3 from the three-point line to start the game. Got a bucket late in the first half. The Marquette tried to kind of blitz him, and he went and got himself a jumper and knocked it down. It did leave Marquette with a little bit of time to try to go and get a bucket, but it was cool to see Andrew Rohde be aggressive offensively and go and get himself a bucket. That said, most points for the season tied his most points of the season with Ball State. The Ball State game did have a really nice driving kick to Nick Boyd to open the second half, and just playing with active hands defensively, had multiple deflections in the game. So Andrew Rohde, I think, another guy who had 2 really good games this week, even though he didn't score very much against Northwestern. Then Braden Carrington, he struggled shooting. He was 0 for 5 from the field and 0 for 4 from the three-point line. He did have 4 rebounds, and I do love the way that he plays. He hustles. He works hard defensively. So he's going to get minutes just on those things alone, regardless of how many shots he makes. Anything he gives you offensively is just going to be gravy, because I do believe he's really a guy who plays with good energy, and I feel like he's a guy who just plays the game the right way. So I think he's going to have some games where he's going to score double-digit points. He's going to have plenty of games where he scores none, and he's going to have some games where he's just 5 points, but then he gives you 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and a steal, and plays good defense. So Braden Carrington's not going to be a guy that's going to stuff the stat sheet, but I love the way that he plays. Mm-hmm. Mike, what'd you take away from the guards?
Got to call it that scuffle, that small scuffle he got into too. I think it fired the boys up a little bit too when that happened, because we were off to a slow start. But no, I just threw that out real quick. But no, I mean, this was kind of the complete opposite of the start what we had against Northwestern, right? It was kind of a tale of two games necessarily when we started to play our best ball. But it took a little bit of time for us to get going. But credit to us first off defensively, we held Marquette 2-16 shooting to start the game, which is pretty damn impressive. That being said, we did start off 3 of 9 as well, so we did get a little slow, but that is what it is. But Nick Boyd, 29 minutes, 15 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. He did have 4 turnovers this game, which is not the greatest. The Badgers, we did have 12 overall, which is also not our best outing, but I'm also going to give credit to Marquette, as anybody who watches Marquette close enough, everyone knows how intense they play on defense. They are right up in your face, and they live off of other teams making mistakes like that. I think their goal, they try to get like 30 to 32 pass deflections or something like that per game. It's like that's
a Shaka Smart thing. That comes from Shaka Smart.
Yeah. So that just tells you, like, in general, what kind of defense they like to play, get it right up in your face. And there was a couple instances where Nick Boyd, I think, was a little flustered by that. But I could also argue that a lot of our team was 2 overall. But, yeah, not the greatest outing for Nick Boyd, but also not too terrible. We just got to clean up the turnovers a little bit there. But, Jack Janicki, another quiet day, 18 minutes, 1 point, 4 rebounds, 1 assist. So not much going on there. But the Badgers, I did want to call out, we did shoot 14 and 33 from 3, and that's 42%. Now, if we can do that consistently, we're going to win a lot of ball games, right? So that's just one thing I want to call out. And, yeah, this is the most lopsided victory for the Badgers over Marquette since 1952.
Yep.
God damn. And boy, I was feeling all nicey inside after that game. You know what I mean? I was feeling all nicey, like what Coach Gruden.
You were feeling the Christmas spirit, you should say.
Yes.
Yes.
Andrew put the smiley face in the comment section, and I get it. Like, I've said this on our show before. Like, I grew up as a fan of both. Like, I would love to add Marquette to our coverage, or just cover it by myself, because I know that Jake and Mike aren't big Marquette guys. But growing up as a fan of both, I mean, whoever's expectations are higher is usually the team that I cheer for between the two matchups. So, you know, I'd like the Badgers to have won this one. You know, I wouldn't have been like sad if Marquette won it, but you know, it benefits the Badgers because I think they have higher expectations for what their season holds in store for them. So good to see the Badgers get a win. We will have not one, not two, but 3 Badger games next week. They play tonight, a big game against number 23 Nebraska. There will be no Connor Essegian matchup. Connor Essegian is out for the season, unfortunately for him. But Nebraska is playing well. They are number 23 in the country. And the Badgers play against Villanova at Friday at Fiserv Forum. So that's kind of a quote-unquote home away from home type game. But other than that, they play Monday against Central Michigan. So we have a Big Ten matchup tonight against a ranked opponent in Nebraska, Friday against Villanova, and a Monday against Central Michigan. So only one Big Ten matchup between now and next Wednesday.
I think that's so I'm looking at the schedule. So it's only one this week. So we got
Yeah.
Am I looking that far ahead?
Yeah, Nova's on the 19th, and then Central Michigan. No, that's it. It's only one game this week.
We only have one game.
Oh, damn. Yeah, I looked way too far ahead.
That's all good.
Yeah,
I wish it wasn't
Milwaukee, and that rounds out the month.
Yeah. I wish there was 3 games. But no, I mean, what I was going to call it too, just giving my quick big picture on everything between Marquette and Northwestern. I definitely, what we talked about already, I think Bielowskis for sure. You put him in that four-man role, I think, until something else, if something else falls off, then maybe make adjustments. But no, I think these guys found some rhythm with that, both especially on the defensive end. We know we can score points. Defensively, I think this definitely gives us a bright spot. Big picture, though, I still think at times, especially in this Marquette game, we were lost in rotations and in transition D specifically. So when we're playing a team like Nebraska, right, which they also shoot a bunch of threes. So Wisconsin is number 1 with 297 attempts from 3. Nebraska is 4th at 287. So it's going to be very, very interesting tonight with this matchup, how both teams respond in terms of playing transition D, because I see a handful of instances pretty much every game so far where the Badgers are still a little lost in that regard with rotations and in transition D. So it's going to be a tale of two signs, and that's something with that stat line. Something I'm just looking at. I mean, the spread also went from -1.5 to Wisconsin this week, and now it's favored 1.5 to Nebraska. So there's a lot of heavy hitters in this game, and I think it's pretty much a coin flip at the end of the day. At Nebraska, it's going to be tough to get a win, but we'll see what happens. It's going to be whoever shoots the 3 ball better. I can promise you that.
Yeah.
Well, we got to stop their big man. What is his name? Mast or whatever. Mast.
Yeah.
He's a senior from, where is he from? Like Lithuania or
Netherlands. The Badgers were after him too a couple of years ago. They were. He was,
so right after they played against him.
Yep.
He's a pretty good player, so we're gonna have to slow that guy down and hopefully rebound the ball.
Kind of in the same vein as like Danny Wolf and the other big dude from Michigan.
I would say more so Danny Wolf, because that kid can shoot. This kid can shoot the 3. I can see why Wisconsin really wanted him. Like he would fit the prototypical what we run.
While we're on the subject of other guys Wisconsin wants, they are after a 6'9" dude from Germany for next season as well. So the international scouting, even without Kirk Penny, is going to continue. I don't want people to think like, oh, the Badgers lost Kirk Penny and now they're not going to recruit overseas anymore. Like that's going to continue. And honestly, if we're being honest, I don't think that it's a outside the realm of possibility opinion that Brad Davison couldn't help with some of that, because he was over in Europe after leaving the Badgers. So
for like 3 years.
There might be some potential for connection that way as well.
I mean, we got so many Badgers that are overseas, that have played overseas and are over there right now. I mean, so we still have connections over there. So we'll see what happens with that. But that's definitely
very
that could be something like with the Brewers with their international scouting, how that's completely changed their trajectory of their future. That could be the same for Badger basketball.
I mean, I don't think it's a secret either, seeing though the way that the NBA has added plenty of international talent over the last couple decades also.
Yep.
Okay. All righty. Well, we'll be back again next Wednesday. We'll see you guys then. Other than that, tune in tonight. The Wisconsin Sports on the Go show with Trage is going to be starting like right now. And then you can catch us. We're going to be on about 6:30 is when our segment comes on, so you can listen to that on their website. So check us out. We talked more on the Bucks with them. Other than that, we'll be back again next Tuesday with our Packers recap and back here again next Wednesday with Bucks and Badgers. So we'll see you guys then.
Later.
Time is precious, and so are our pets. So time with our pets is extra precious. That's why we started Dutch. Dutch provides 24/7 access to licensed vets with unlimited virtual visits and follow-ups for up to 5 pets. You can message a vet at any time and schedule a video visit the same day. Our vets can even prescribe medication for many ailments, and shipping is always free. With Dutch, you'll get more time with your pets and year-round peace of mind when it comes to their vet care. Go to Dutch.com to get vet care that is always there for just $92 a year.